Well, I got bored, so I decided, hey, here's a fanfic. I'm probably gonna regret reading this. Not because I think it's bad, but because I think I'm bad. It's a Dear Connor Murphy, a Tree Bros fanfic by Fortsy / Connor Murphy. Somehow that rhymed. Warning! Cussing! I don't know if I'll cuss or not, because you guys haven't formally heard me cuss, but I usually cuss a lot. Just not around kids and all that. Bad spelling. Honey, you'll do better than I did. Tree Bros Fluff. 2 dots blue / heart. 2 dots. Sorry, it's kinda bad and really long. Like me. Art by Mushiar. You should actually go watch her channel. It was first day of school, senior year. Connor was not happy to be there. He had tried convincing his mom to let him stay home today, but it didn't work. He walked into school. I know saying duh, but I'm not reading that. And began walking down the hallway to his locker when he was Jared Killman. It was Clean Man or something like that, but I'm calling it a Killer Man. And his longtime crush, Evan Hansen. Jared and Evan both looked at Connor. Hey Connor, love the new haircut. Very school shooter chic. Probably not a good time to read. Who cares? Jared joked. Go eat at Subway. Connor looked confused and unamused. He glared. It was a joke. No, I know. I was laughing. I'm laughing, can you tell? Connor and Evan kind of glanced at each other. The back of Connor. I'm not laughing hard enough for you. Connor yelled. Jared seemed intimidated, but hid it well. You're such a frick. Jared chuckled and walked off. Evan laughed nervously. Jared's word has gotten to Connor. He turned to Evan. What are you laughing at? Evan was quickly startled by Connor's yell. Son of a... Huh? Evan's words were cut off by more of Connor's yelling. Stop laughing! But I wasn't laughing. Evan quickly said in a state of fear. You think I'm a freak? Why? Connor yelled. No, Evan tried to give an explanation, but of course Connor interrupted him. I'm not the freak! You're the freak! He yelled as he shoved Evan down on the ground and his pensive rage just stormed off. He had just cussed and yelled at his crush and pushed him. Connor wasn't very good at channeling his emotions. He felt bad. Anyways, she's a friend. Stop. The long but terrible day was finally over. Connor grabbed his things and walked out of class. I am recording. Me reading with cringy voice. Anyways, he was so ready to go when he saw Evan walked into the computer lab. Maybe they could strike up a conversation. Evan liked trees. Maybe he could talk about trees. Or, oh, Connor had noticed Evan was wearing a cast. Maybe he'll ask about that. He swallowed his pride and walked into the computer lab. Yeah, I'm printing it right now. Love you too. Bye, Mom. Evan hung up the phone. Connor took a deep breath and approached the smaller boy. So, how you break your arm? Evan quickly turned around to see Connor standing there. Oh, I, fell off a tree, actually. You fell out of a tree? Connor questioned. Evan nodded. Well, isn't that just the saddest thing I ever heard? Yeah. Yeah. Evan became even quieter. Well, Hassan. Evan quickly again looked up at Connor. You have a Sharpie? Connor asked. Evan took a fart! Ship. He took a Sharpie out of his bag and handed it to Connor. He took the Sharpie and signed Evan's cast in big letters all across his cast. Connor! In terrible handwriting. Evan looked down at his now signed cast. Gee, thanks. I'm not editing anything out. Evan looked down at his now signed cast. Gee, thanks. Connor handed back the Sharpie. No problem. Now we can pretend we have friends. Evan was silent. Connor had picked up Evan's paper that had printed out when he first came in. Oh, hey, this is your name. This is yours, right? Silence! Anyways. Evan turned to look at Connor. Fuck. Shit. Evan turned to look at Connor again. Huh? It says, Evan Hansen. That's your name, right? Evan now knew what Connor was talking about. It was his letter to himself that he had right to give to his therapist. That letter had things written on it that he didn't want anyone to see. It read, Dear Evan Hansen, turns out this wasn't an amazing day after all. This isn't going to be an amazing week or an amazing year, but why would it be? I know there's Zoe, and all my hope is pinned on Zoe, who I don't even know, and doesn't know me. Maybe if I could just talk to her, maybe nothing would be different at all. I wish everything was different. I wish I was a part of something. Fudge! I wish that everything I said mattered to anyone. I mean, face it. Would anyone notice if I disappeared tomorrow? Sincerely, your most best and dearest friend, me. Oh, it's just some super letter I had to write. Evan was once again interrupted by Connor. So, Murphy? So Murphy was Connor's little sister, also Evan's crush. Connor and Zoe didn't get along very well. However, she didn't know about Connor's huge crush on Evan. She would often tease him about it, not in a mean way, but in a sisterly way. They got along sometimes, just not often. It's Uh, he was cut off again by Connor. You wrote this because you wanted me to see it. Evan looked at Connor. He was confused at getting word again. Huh? Yeah, you saw that I was the only other person in the computer lab. So you wrote this and printed it out so that I could find it. Connor assumed. Why would I do that? Connor was becoming more agitated and letting his anger take over again. So that I could read some creepy you wrote about my sister and freak out, right? I'll probably be more serious just reading these later on. And then you could tell everyone that I'm crazy, right? Evan was obviously frightened. No, what? Wait, I don't even. What? Fuck you! My ear! Connor once again stormed off, taking Evan's letter with him. Evan panicked. He could feel tears well up in his eyes. But I really need that back, please. Can you just give it back to me? Connor was gone, and there was nothing Evan could do to get his letter back. Connor was so upset. He left and went off to the orchard for some grief to relieve stress. I know it's relief. He climbed over the fence and went over and sat under one of the biggest trees there. He lay there in a grassy field. Meanwhile, Evan did not want to go home. Not yet. Hetty would look at his face and see how pink his face was. She asked what happened. He was talking a walk to calm down. He was really upset. He passed by the orchard, taking a second glance. He hadn't ever noticed that orchard before. He was obviously... Why am I seeing these words? He was walking near here. It was abandoned. He climbed the fence and jumped on the other side. Chicken. Connor was still under the tree. His longtime crush had a weird crush on his little sister. He leaned up against the tree and sighed heavily. He felt heartbroken. It wasn't a big deal because Evan never ever even showed any interest in him, but it was a big deal. Connor and Evan had known each other since preschool, and Connor had liked Evan since second grade. Why couldn't he just tell Evan how he felt instead of lashing out all the time? And always being an a-hole to people. All the time. Why? Just then Connor heard a crackling in leaves on the other side of the tree he was sitting. Dear Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen. Turns out this was an amazing day after all. This isn't going to be an amazing week, but because, why would it be? Now that Connor Murphy took my letter away. Everyone's going to know how I feel about Zoe, including her. They'll know how I write letters to myself and about my social anxiety. I'll be an even bigger outcast. I'm free. And I'll be bullied even more. And God, why couldn't it have worked out when I jumped from that tree? Why couldn't it have died already? Evan sobbed. Connor slowly, who it was, sitting on the other side of the tree. Why? Suddenly, Evan felt startled at a hand on his shoulder. Evan turned around with tears, looking down to see Connor. I won't tell anyone, Evan. I never was going to tell anyone. I promise. I won't tell anyone, Evan. Evan wasn't sure what to do. Connor asked again, interrupted Evan. I know what it feels like to feel like that. I feel every day, bro. I'm so sorry, Evan. More tears rolled down Evan's face. Connor held his arm out for Evan. Evan quickly hugged Connor and sobbed into Connor's shoulder. I'm so sorry, Evan. Evan kept sobbing into Connor's shoulder. That went on for a while, just the two of them sitting under the tree together. Evan and Connor's arm sobbing as I actually repeat first names a lot, so I understand this. An hour later, Evan nodded. Yeah, and my mom and my therapist made me write letters to myself. Connor took Evan's hand. Hey, I noticed you like trees. A lot. You wanna see the tallest one? Evan sniffed and nodded, stood up, and he took Evan's hand. Again, it started running through the yellow, flowery, and grassy fields while still holding Evan's hand. Connor dead still and fell, also causing Evan to fall and both to roll down the hill through the fields. Connor sat up for the grass laughing. Evan also sat up, and seeing Connor laugh, who he had never seen laugh, caused him to also laugh really hard. Oh, you have some grass in your hair. Evan pointed at the grass in Connor's hair. Where? Connor combed his finger through his own hair, scavenging for the grass in his hair. Evan leaned in closer to Connor. Here, I'll get it. Evan reached over Connor to get the grass out of Connor's hair. But Connor moved back a bit, causing Evan to fall on top of Connor. Connor blushed bright red, and so did Evan. Evan was breathing heavily, and Evan tried to get up off Connor, and out of this awkward situation when Connor grabbed Evan by the shirt collar and pulled him into a passionate kiss. Evan's eyes widened in shock, but then he kissed Connor back. Connor kissed Evan deeper, then the kiss ended, and Evan pulled away, and a big smile spread widely against Evan's face. Connor smiled back. Evan got up off of Connor, and Connor sat up. Come on, I'll walk you home, Connor said to Evan as he stood up and helped Evan up. Evan smiled. Thanks. They then left the orchard, and Connor walked Evan home. Once they got to Evan's house, they stood there in front of Evan's house. Evan, be honest, you still have a crush on my sister after today? Evan looked at Connor, then reached into his skull, but oh no. I pulled out a non-toxic marker and took Connor's arm and rolled up Connor's sweater sleeve. There were cuts and bandage all over Connor's arm. Evan wrote his number in big but neat letters on Connor's arm. Then he kissed a few of Connor's cuts. Then he looked up at a bright pink face. Connor, no, I don't like her anymore. I like you though. Connor blushed more. Connor's words were cut off by Evan going in his house and then shutting the door. A love struck. Connor walked home. Thank you for reading. I hope you liked this. It was fun writing, but it also took so long. Hashtag Kara to ours. Hashtag Tree Bros. Hashtag fanfic. Hey, is it okay if I make an animation of this? Yes. That was an amazing fanfic. I hope to read more. Oh shoot, it didn't work. No.